Hi, I'm Karenna with Hello Inner Light, and today's video is about how to be more authentic. I'm going to teach you 5 simple steps to free your true self in this fake world. So we all have a deep longing to be authentic deep within us, which is just to say we all want to be free to be ourselves. We want to express ourselves, we want to express our needs, our feelings, our desires, our true essences, without having to contort ourselves to fit in or hide parts of ourselves that we think aren't good enough. But unfortunately, we've been taught and socialized into believing that some parts of us aren't good, that we should be a different way, that we're supposed to be something else, that in order to fit in or in order to get love, we have to fit into some box or some mold or wear some mask or facade. And many of us have gotten so good at it that we've completely lost touch with who we truly are. I know so many sensitive souls who no longer even know what their true needs, feelings, and desires are because they've lost track of it in placating others. And I totally understand that has been a massive struggle for me in this lifetime. And placating others seems like a good thing, doesn't it? I mean, we all want to fit in, we all want to feel loved, and most of us don't want to rock the boat that much, especially us sensitive souls who are a little bit shy of conflict. But when we're always wearing a mask or when we're consistently hiding true parts of ourselves, it feels really exhausting and it kind of degrades our sense of self. It degrades our sense of self-worth. It's an unfulfilling and uninspiring way to live. And it actually creates walls between us and other people. It seems like people-pleasing and doing what others want us to do would be good for relationships, but it actually creates this disconnect when we're always inauthentic. Because we all truly want to be seen and loved for who we actually are. And when we're consistently hiding parts of ourselves, we're actually cutting off the possibility of us being seen and loved for who we are, which creates a deep sense of loneliness and isolation within us. So how do we be more authentic? Let's dive right into the 5 steps. I also want to tell you that I created a How to Be More Authentic guidebook that you can download for free. It's just a downloadable PDF, and if you want to grab it, there's a link in the description to this video, so go ahead and grab that. It goes into deep detail on these 5 steps, and it also has a bunch of journaling pages, which are so helpful when you're trying to grow in self-awareness. So, the first step is to begin to understand what is preventing you from being authentic. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes right now and think of a time in your life where you just feel like you're never quite able to be yourself. You're always kind of hiding, you're always feeling awkward, something always feels off. And really bring that scenario to the front of your mind. And I'm just going to say the beginning of some sentences, and I want you to, just in your mind, or if you want to grab a pencil and paper, you can go ahead and write down the answers to these questions. But I'm going to start a sentence, and I want you to, in an uninhibited way, just answer as honestly as you can within your own head. So, I have to pretend to be something I'm not, or else. I'm being inauthentic in this situation because if I don't wear this mask, This situation reminds me of a time when pretending to be something I'm not is protecting me from, and deep down, what I really long for is. So just honestly answer those questions. Let your heart speak. And then go ahead and look at your answers, and you'll begin to notice what's preventing you from being authentic. So step 1 is really valuable because it helps you grow in self-awareness. And then step 2 is equally as valuable. Step 2 is to have compassion for yourself. So now that you know some of the reasons why you aren't being authentic or some of the things that are preventing you from being authentic, I want you to have some really deep compassion for yourself here. Because I know that a lot of us have a tendency to judge ourselves, to criticize ourselves, to police ourselves, to think we should be one way when we're being another. So just remember that you're human. that we are all striving for as much authenticity as we know how to put out into the world, but that these coping mechanisms that we've developed that have ultimately had us hide our true self actually make a lot of sense on some levels. So just offer yourself massive compassion. And then step 3 is to release some of these limiting beliefs that are preventing you from being authentic. Release the limiting beliefs that are telling you that some part of you is just not good enough or that is inadequate. So I want you to close your eyes again if you've opened them, and imagine that there's a bubble out in front of you. It's just floating in front of you. And inside the bubble is a magnet. And this magnet is going to begin to draw any energy out of your space that causes you to be inauthentic. It draws out any voices that tell you you aren't good enough as you are, any messages that tell you that you should be different, any images of how you're supposed to be, because you have inherent value and dignity as you are. You're supposed to be you, just as you are, so you're doing it. Notice that the magnet in this bubble is just drawing all this energy out, and maybe with your imagination or your mind's eye, you can even look at that bubble and see what that energy looks like. What are some of the messages in there? Whose voices are in there? And then I want you to imagine that there's a tube of light on that bubble, a tube of light that goes from that bubble to the very core of Mother Earth. And down that tube of light, you can just begin draining off all of the energy that's not true to you. Mother Earth is the ultimate composter, so she'll just take that energy and turn it back into fresh life force, and you can be free of it. So let those limiting beliefs begin to drain out of that bubble. And step 4 is to tune into your true essence. So keep your eyes closed and continue looking at that bubble in front of you. And now I want you to imagine that your highest self, or your spirit, comes down and stands next to that bubble. And your highest self just begins to fill that bubble with your truest essence. Your highest self fills that bubble with what is really real. Your awareness of your inherent dignity, your awareness of your true value. Your highest self sees the perfection in your imperfections, the perfection in your humanity. So just allow your highest self to totally transmute all of the energy that's left in that bubble and totally fill it with the essence of you. Or maybe just notice, what does the essence of you look like? What does that bubble look like now? What does it feel like? Tune in to your true essence and get as much information as you can from it. And then go ahead and imagine that that tube of light drops right off of that bubble. And that bubble comes forward, and you just welcome it into the center of your heart. That bubble full of your true essence that's transmuted all of those limiting beliefs comes into the center of your heart and begins to radiate through your entire body and even your aura field, which is the energy around your body. And just notice how you feel. How's your breathing? How does your body respond to this energy? So that's step 4, tuning into your true essence. And step 5 is asking yourself how you can be more authentic now that you have this fresh perspective, now that you have this connection to your true essence. So I want you to either jot down or just in your head brainstorm all the ways that you might react in this situation now. They don't have to be realistic, but just anything, just dump out whatever options you can think of now into like a brainstorming list. And then one of the keys to being more authentic is that when we're being inauthentic, it's because we're being what we think we should be or being what we think we're supposed to be. And authenticity instead just kind of bubbles up from within us like an inspiration of who we want to be, who we already are. So I want you to look through your list of options, and I want you to notice which options call to your heart, which ones make you feel light and joyful, and those are the options that I think you should start considering. So those are the 5 simple steps to free your true self in this fake world. Step 1, understand what's preventing you from being authentic. Step 2, having compassion for yourself. Step 3, releasing the limiting beliefs. Step 4, tuning into your true essence. And step 5, asking yourself what's possible now. So let me know how this process worked for you in the comments below. Don't forget to grab your free PDF guidebook, and thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and here are some other videos I think you'd like.